Hello and welcome to another episode of Scott Reads Comics. Today I'm going to cover The Incredible Hulk 393, published in 1992 by Marvel Comics. This is an amazing, double-sized 30th anniversary issue. Is he man or monster, or is he both? And this is a tremendous effort from Peter David, probably in his 6th year on the Hulk title by this point, and artists Dale Keown and Mark Farmer. And for my money, and this did cost $2.50 in 1992, I paid $1 for it from a dollar bin not too long ago. But for my money, this is the single best comic of the early 1990s period for Marvel. I love it. It has still the remaining sensibilities from the Copper Age, but now we're kind of starting to bleed into the Iron Age. The storytelling is fantastic. The pacing is awesome. There's a bunch of extra stuff crammed into this double-sized issue, and it's really fun. So let's get started. It's printed on this amazing newsprint, high-quality newsprint. It really reproduces the color well. Our title page, the 30th anniversary of The Incredible Hulk, 1962 to 1992. The Closing Circle, a special tribute to Incredible Hulk #1. That's our main story. Then we have some classic Battles of the Hulk pinups. We have a backup story by Herb Trimpe that I just love called Grudge Match. And then there's a long in-world treatise on the psychological ramifications of gamma radiation and some letters. Really awesome anniversary issue. They did this one up right. So it starts out here. Let's go through our creative crew. Peter David, Dale Keown, Mark Farmer, Joe Rosen is the letterer, Glynis Oliver is the colorist, Bobby Chase is the editor, and Tom DeFalco is editor-in-chief by this time at Marvel. Part 1, The Closing Circle. I have a recurring nightmare. It used to happen more frequently. The nightly screams, the morning nausea, the daily torture. It drove from me, my wife, my children, and quite nearly my sanity. But I'd gotten better, or thought I had. So, the crux, the fulcrum of this story is this Russian spy. He's the very spy who, his name's Igor, who was responsible for the Hulk's transformation way back in Hulk #1 when Bruce Banner ran out to rescue Rick Jones from the blast test field and told this guy, who at the time he didn't know he was a spy, to hold up, stop the countdown. He never did. He wanted Banner out of the way so he could stymie weapons development of the United States, and so the Hulk was born. So now there's a lot of psychological stuff going on in this, and we can see here, obviously, this is an amalgam of Banner and the Hulk. This guy's experiencing some dreams, some lucid dreams, where he is going through some stuff, reliving his past indiscretions. That day, a spy named Igor Drenkov held the fates of millions in his hand and didn't know it. All I saw was the chance to get rid of a noted American scientist. I could have stopped it then. I could have stopped it now. Stop the countdown. Stop the Hulk. But my mission was to eliminate Banner. How can I betray my mission, my country? So it goes on. Part 2, the Hulk challenged. We get the people's heroes. The old Soviet super soldiers are now the people's heroes. And I really have to say, this Dale Keown, Mark Farmer artwork is unbelievable. Obviously, coming from the school of Alan Davis. I mean, Mark Farmer has often been an Alan Davis inker. And I feel like Dale Keown, one of his influences was Alan Davis, although you can see a little bit of Michael Golden in his work as well. Fantastic, still young at this time, gifted storyteller, and just dynamic action and figure work all through this. What a colorful group of Hulk foes. And then, of course, we get Hulk allies in this, the Pantheon. Really awesome scene here with one of them on the wing of the People's Heroes plane. Never have I seen this version of the Crimson Dynamo is kind of like an amalgam of the Crimson Dynamo and the Titanium, and it's just so hulking and huge. The armor has been obviously upgraded, and it does also have, of course, a more. We're starting to get into the '90s sensibilities here with some of these characters, some of the over-the-top Iron Age stuff bleeding in from the Copper Age. But here we see our figures: Perun, Crimson Dynamo, Vostok, Red Guardian, and I forget the female character's name. She's really cool. She's like a mystical character. And then we have the members of the Pantheon, who are mostly allies of the Hulk. Hulk has been living and working with them, but they have their own agenda, and that'll be sorted out in future stories. Love this sequence here of the People's Heroes just sort of blinking out. Ulysses, what's the deal here? I'm not sure. So they don't know what happened to them, but they eschew fighting them. They have another mission. They want to rescue Igor here. And of course, part 3, Hulk Unleashed, we get what amounts to, this is the new Hulk, the sort of the melding of the gray Hulk and the green Hulk with Banner's full intellect. What's cool is you can see that even the shape of his head and face is different. It's definitely more Banner in there, less of the sort of monstrous looking Hulk that we saw when he was roaming the Dreamlands from 300 to 313, or even when he came back in 314 when Byrne took the book over briefly. And there was a period after Byrne left, you had Milgram on the book for a little while, and his look was very blocky and hulking. I think Steve Geiger came on, and then we had a long run with the Gray Hulk with Jeff Purvis, like a 12-issue run. Excellent artwork by Purvis. And so the Hulk has gone through many different looks. Oh, great shot of the hulking Crimson Dynamo here. The Hulk has gone through many looks through this period, and they've all been cool. And this final one here, I say final, of course, he's transformed even more since then, but for the purposes of this story, the look he's currently in now with his sort of where he's at peace with Banner controlling the Hulk, being the Hulk essentially. It's a neat look. I like it a lot. Very, very athletic looking Hulk. Real awesome here too. Oh, Phantasma is her name. I love this. So cool. Perun is, of course, a Russian version of Thor, and great sequence here. You can see he packs quite a wallop. Why waste time with reasons when there's a foe worthy of my power waiting to be defeated? Wakow! Perun, get back here. Look out, those Pantheon fools have caught up with us. I let them off easily before, masking our own bioelectric field so that we seem to simply disappear. This time, I won't be so generous. I'll do for them what I did for the Hulk. So she's working her powers on them to varying degrees of success. Meanwhile, the Hulk and Perun are brawling. Definitely some foes on the People's Heroes worthy of the Hulk's power. He could certainly unload on them. This Vostok character is very cool. He can control inanimate matter. He causes Ajax armor to attack him. Here you can see the Hulk delivering a beatdown to Crimson Dynamo. And this is a great sequence where you kind of see Banner's intellect at work here with the Hulk's power. Fool, depriving me of my weapons won't stop me. They don't generate my electrical power. Just focus it. The power comes from me. Believe it or not, Joy Boy, I figured that out. So I wondered how your uncontrolled bioelectricity might interact with Metal Mouth's armor. Awesome sequence here of him taking out those one of his foes with his other foe's powers. Really great. Yup, system shutdown. Thought as much. Of course, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to figure that out. Then again, I happen to be a rocket scientist in my spare time. Don't you ever shut up? Hey, I had to go through years of wielding a 10-word vocabulary. I'm just making up for lost time is all. Oh, and great, somehow the Crimson Dynamo is back up, but he's actually just being animated by Vostok, which is a pretty great use of his abilities. And here we have Atalanta, the Archer, the cool energy arrows. Just really great characters. And I like what we can see in the Hulk's dialogue how Peter David has found a unique voice for this version of the Hulk. Every version of the Hulk has a voice, and this one is kind of a little bit of Mr. Fix-It, but more Bruce Banner woven in there. So he's mean, but really smart and mean. And part 4, the Hulk confronted. So he's going to confront Igor. And Igor sort of cracks up during this sequence. We're done with the fighting now. And what's awesome, too, at the very end, Igor takes responsibility for creating Hulk and all of the bad things that the Hulk has done. But he also feels like he should get credit for all of the great things the Hulk has done, because how many times has the Hulk saved the world? And what's great here is we get a bit of the fourth wall broken at the end as he raves, because it does sort of unhinge him. Don't you understand? My soul died the day that bomb went off. I just want to know, where will my soul go? Will I burn or be blessed? Someone tell me. Speak to me, someone. You. I see your eyes burning into me. Tell me. I gave the world a great power. Did I do right or wrong? Please, judge me. End my suffering. Please. I beg you, please. End it. End it. So, pretty messed up and tragic end. Powerful story. A great anniversary story, because it does touch on the very origins of the Hulk as a character. Fun. A lot of thought went into that. And Peter David is such a great writer. I love this. This is the beginning of the pinups we're going to see through the book. This is an awesome Herb Trimpe kind of reimagining Wolverine's fight with the Hulk. Really great. He's lost none of his ability, and we're going to see that in the backup story coming up here. We get another great panel, this one from Ron Frenz and Al Milgrom. That first fateful fight between Thor and the Hulk. And now we have our backup story, Grudge Match, written by Peter David, penciled by Herb Trimpe, inked by Herb Trimpe and Charles Barnett, lettered by Joe Rosen, colored by Glynis Oliver, editor Bobby Chase, and Tom DeFalco as our editor-in-chief again. And this is, of course, the old Hulk, the Hulk that Trimpe is most associated with, the childlike Hulk. You call Hulk monster, you call Hulk brainless, but you would hurt Hulk when he just wants to be left alone. You more monster than Hulk. And this is an awesome version of Trimpe that we're seeing here. This is kind of in the 90s, and I haven't really talked about this much on the show. I'm a huge Herb Trimpe fan. Folks who watch the show know that. In the 90s, to get work, Trimpe was forced to modernize his style. And what ultimately ended up, the final product of that modernized 90s style, I wasn't a big fan of. This is like some transitional point between Herb's old style, his reliable style, his Bronze Age style, and the more modern 90s sensibility. And I really like it. It's dynamic. The figure work is excellent. The facial expressions are fantastic. It's just really, really good. And it's got all the hallmarks of that great Trimpe storytelling. Again, no one draws vehicles and hardware better than Herb Trimpe. Just really good. Takes no shortcuts. Awesome with perspective. Just really great. This could almost be a G.I. Joe sequence right here. He's done so many of those. This poor character here, the Hulk just keeps ruining his life. He is a criminal, but it points in this story, he just kind of bops into this guy's life and ruins it. Here's the initial encounter, and he vows he's going to kill the Hulk. And of course, a few years later, he gets out of jail. He shows up in Vegas. He's a great inventor. He's going to cheat the casinos, but who was in Vegas at this period but Mr. Fix-It, a.k.a. the Hulk? And he, being a cunning and clever guardian of this casino, picks up on this guy's scam. In this panel, this long panel, we can really see some of that changing style of Trimpe, where you can almost see a little bit of Dan Fraga, a little bit of Rob Liefeld in some of these pencils here. but it's not to the point where it's displeasing to the eye, or it still has the storytelling chops and the figure work that I like. So Fix-It, of course, exposes this guy, and he winds up in jail, and he vows to kill the Hulk again. So now he's got another plan. He is going to, he's really going to do it. He's going to strike at the Hulk by killing Rick Jones first. So he takes out this military convoy just to steal this high-tech bazooka, and he has this elaborate plan. He thinks Rick Jones is sleeping in Rick Jones' apartment, but no, house sitting for Rick Jones was the new modern Hulk. So obviously a bazooka blast isn't going to kill this guy, and he gives up. I give up. I wonder who that guy was. I'll tell you, this is some world we live in where you can just be minding your own business and some stranger comes along to complicate your life. So funny backup tale there. This is a fantastic pinup from a longtime Hulk artist, Sal Buscema. Really great. Love it with Leader in the murder module and the humanoids all around. And that is a classic Sal Hulk, if there ever was one. And this one, let me check on this one, because that looks like Gil Kane almost. But let me see here. Let's see. Yeah, that is Gil Kane. Pretty awesome. And this is a great Hulk versus Silver Surfer by Maurice Severin. And then the final one is Hulk versus Everyone, or the Avengers in this case. That's by Al Milgrom. Some great storytelling there by Milgrom in just one pinup. And then we get Psychological Ramifications of Gamma Radiation, a case history of the Incredible Hulk submitted to the American Psychological Association by Leonard Sampson, PhD. So this is great. We're going to get a bunch of clips of different panels from a lot of different artists throughout the Hulk's history. We're going to get some Byrne, some modern Dale Keown, some Kirby. Of course, we got Sal here, Herb Trimpe. This is this might be Sal with Jerry Teleoc inks there. But I love when they kind of produce in-world documents, but use them for a storytelling device like this. That's, of course, some classic Byrne. We get some Jeff Purvis there. That's some Todd McFarlane, Milgrom, Byrne, I guess. Yeah, awesome stuff. Really cool. That's Dale Keown all the way there. So we have another pinup. This one is Walt Simonson, very cartoony. Love it. And I'm not sure what this one. I'll check real quick here. I thought it was Starlin. That's Jim Starlin. And finally, we have Dale Keown, Hulk versus the Pantheon. And then we have Green Mail, our letters page. And that's it, folks. That is a quick read through this amazing artifact from 1992, Hulk 393. I really love it. What an awesome story from Peter David, Dale Keown, Mark Farmer. Great backup tale from Herb Trimpe. Great pinups from a host of Hulk artists, past and present. Awesome issue. If you find it in a dollar bin, grab it up. You won't regret it. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please like and subscribe. Tell your friends. I'll bring you more soon on Scott Reads Comics. Thanks for watching.